And welcome. This is going to be our lecture video for February 24th through 25th. We're going to be doing a step-by-step binder lesson today. You can take this on either a separate piece of paper or use the worksheet I handed out in class. Go ahead, put your name on there, and let's copy down some notes. Step by step, how to write the slope-intercept form of the equation of a line, and all of these equations are going to be given in standard form. Maybe make a note up at the top, what is standard form? Standard form is ax plus by equals c, where a and b are some coefficients and c is the constant. X and y are still our variables. All right, step one. All right, in step one, we want to add/subtract the term with the x from both sides. All right, if it's negative, you're going to add it. If it's positive, you'll subtract it from both sides. So let's look at number one. There's just an x by itself, so I'm going to subtract it from both sides like this. Step two is place the x term in front of the constant on the right side. On the left side, it should cancel. So here it cancels, and I'm left with just a negative 2y. But over here, I've got this negative x. I can put it either in front or behind the 4. I'm going to put it in front of the 4 like this, negative x plus 4. That way, this side is already starting to look more like slope-intercept form. Let's remind ourselves what that is. That's y equals mx plus b. This looks more like mx plus b instead of b plus mx. All right, step 3. We want to divide every term by the coefficient on y. So here our y's coefficient is negative 2. We're going to divide every single term by negative 2. All right, step 4, we're going to pull the x off the top of its fraction. So if we have something like negative 2x over 3, we're going to, well, here I'll draw it like this. We're going to take that x out in front and make this negative 2 over 3x. So it's more like mx and not the x being associated in that slope. In this example here, we have to leave something behind on top, so we'll leave a negative 1 behind on top. Here these negative 2's cancel, so we've got y equals negative 1 over negative 2x. And then 4 divided by negative 2 is a minus 2. All right, and then step 5 is going to be simplify any fractions. So we already turned the 4 over negative 2 into a negative 2. Here we can just get rid of those negatives in this fraction and write our equation as y equals 1/2 x minus 2. So the negatives cancel out. All right, let's try this with number 2. So I'm going to move the x term by subtracting 2x from both sides. I'm going to put it in front of my constant. My goal here is to get y by itself, so it makes sense that I'm moving the x term away. So now I got negative 3y equals negative 2x minus 12. I put that negative 2 in front of the negative 12. Now I divide by that negative 3 to every single term. And I get y equals 2/3 x plus 4. All right, and notice in that last step, I pulled the x off the top of its fraction, so it's more like mx. The negatives cancel it out in this fraction, and negative 12 divided by negative 3 is a positive 4. Now I can clearly see my slope and my y-intercept in this equation. All right, number 3. So subtract that 3x from both sides. I now have negative 5y equals negative 3x minus 20. Divide everything by negative 5. Remember to divide each term by negative 5. So we're distributing that division. And I get y equals, okay, the negatives cancel out. The x comes off the top, and negative 20 over negative 5 becomes a positive 4. All right, number 4. Subtract 3x from both sides. Remember to leave this negative behind with the y, so it's negative y equals negative 3x minus 5. And then just divide away that negative 1. That's just going to flip the sign on everything. And I get y equals 3x plus 5. All right, last one. So subtract 14x from both sides, putting it in front of the negative 21. I get 3y equals negative 14x minus 21. And I'm going to divide every term by 3. Okay, this fraction can't be simplified at all, but I can bring the x out in front. So I get y equals negative 14 over 3x, and negative 21 divided by 3 is a negative 7. All right. On the back side, now we've got some equations that are not in any sort of form, and we're going to try to convert them into slope-intercept form. There's not a step-by-step that we can really follow for this. Just focus on getting y by itself and getting the other side to look like mx plus b. So let's look at number 6. The y's over here. I'd rather have it be on the other side, so I'm going to add 2y to both sides. So now I've got 2y equals negative 19 minus 3x. I want the y by itself, so I'm going to divide everything by 2. And I get y equals negative 19 over 2 minus 3 over 2x. And this looks more like b plus mx than mx plus b, so I'll just switch that around. Y equals negative 3 over 2x minus 19 over 2. And that can't be simplified any further, and I'd rather you just leave it with the fractions. All right, number 7, I want to get the y by itself, so I'm going to subtract 5x. Well, actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to completely flip around this fraction. So I'm going to have it be 4y equals 5x. Then I'm going to divide everything by 4. And I get y equals 5 over 4x. The b value is 0, and we don't need to write it. All right, last one. I've got this fraction on my y value of negative 1/3. I'd rather that just be a positive y, so I'll multiply it by its reciprocal, which is negative 3. But if I do that to this term, I have to do it to every single term. And I'll get 3 plus y equals, so the negatives cancel out, the 3 goes to the top, and we can simplify that to just become 1/4 x. I subtract my 3 to the other side, and I get y equals 1/4 x minus 3. All right. So that's that for this lecture video. I'll embed a few more questions here, and have a good rest of your day.